So let me give you a brief timeline of what happens from the death of Solomon down to the destruction. So when Solomon died in 922, the structure that had been erected by David and Solomon fell into these two rival states. And neither of them, of course, is going to be very strong. You have the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom, referred to as Judah, each with its own king, right? Jeroboam in the north, Rehoboam in the south. Sometimes they're going to be at war with one another. Sometimes they're going to work in alliance with one another. But 200 years later, right, from 922 down to 722, 200 years later, the northern kingdom of Israel will fall to the Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians come down to the border of the southern kingdom to Judah, and Judah remains viable, but it is reduced to a vassal status. It is tributary to this new world power. Finally, Judah will be destroyed about 150 years later, okay? About 587, 586. The Babylonians, right, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, they have conquered the Assyrians, and they assume control over the ancient Near East and take the southern kingdom. Now, the story of the northern kingdom, Israel, that's presented in Kings is colored by a Judean perspective, and it is highly negative and highly polemical. So Solomon was succeeded by his son Rehoboam, but the 10 tribes of the north revolted when he refused to relieve their tax burden. They came to him and asked if they could have some relief, and he answered them very harshly. So they revolted, and a separate kingdom was set up under the rule of the Israelite Jeroboam till the end of the 10th century. So divided now into these two kingdoms, they begin to lose power, probably losing any control they may have had over outlying territories. So let's focus first on the northern kingdom of Israel. Was more divided by tribal rivalries and religious traditions than Judah. You have 10 tribes in that region. Jeroboam didn't seem to be able to establish a very stable rule. 1 Kings 12 tells us of Jeroboam's effort to break the connection with the traditional religious center of Jerusalem in the south. He establishes his own government at Shechem, and that was a place that was already revered in Hebrew tradition. This is where we have the covenant renewal ceremony by Joshua, so it's already a somewhat sacred site. So he establishes his capital in Shechem, and then he establishes royal shrines, one in the southern part of Israel and one in the northern part of Israel, right, on each of the borders, north and south of the kingdom, in Dan and Bethel, Bethel in the south and Dan in the north. A golden calf is placed in each shrine according to the text, and this is viewed by the Deuteronomistic historian as a terrible sin. Indeed, the story is written in a manner that deliberately echoes the story of the golden calf that was made by Aaron in Exodus 32. There are linguistic echoes that make it very clear that we are supposed to view this as a sin as great as the sin of Aaron. It may well be that if Jeroboam did in fact do this, that he was a good Yahwist and was just trying to establish alternate sanctuaries for Yahweh that would rival Jerusalem's. But the Deuteronomistic historian wants to see this as another instance of idolatry, and therefore deliberately echoes the primordial cultic sin of the golden calves when talking about Jeroboam's activity. It brands his cultic center as illegitimate idolatry. Jeroboam is represented by the biblical writer as having made unacceptable concessions to Canaanite practices of worship, and so he is criticized for this. Despite his best efforts, his kingship is fairly unstable. And in fact, in the 200-year history of the kingdom, the northern kingdom of Israel, we will have 7 different dynasties occupying the throne.